ready? I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Colby and Chip and Ghosty.
Flight of Icarus, Iron Maiden.
Yep.
This
one has a cute story to it.
Yeah, it's for the big homie Damien. And he's like, you know, I'm doing this for my mom.
Yeah.
I said, who's your mom?
Turns out it was Ruth.
It turns out to be Ruth. Truthy Ruthie. And today is Ruth's birthday. So
happy birthday.
Well, we got to give him a Vin and Sori happy birthday.
Yes. Are you getting a guitar?
So
we're going to make it real. Annoying for your ears.
I'm looking for that other pick that you have, but you still don't know where it is, huh?
Yeah, I should have never let you use it, but then I felt weird to withhold it
You're
from
blaming me, and the reality is you are the one. It's a 1,000%.
The reality is I had it on the desk,
fault.
and then somebody decided they needed to use it.
1,000% your fault.
And here it is.
Okay.
No! I'm not going to do this again.
We're going to do it, then I'll give it right back to you.
That's what you said the last time.
I put it on the table. This is for Ruth.
Put it in the drawer, please.
This is for Ruth. And Ruth, we're playing with a very, very special pick, which you will not be able to understand.
Until you
how
watch
special
the,
this pick is.
Concert review.
Until you look at the Slipknot review.
Which should be out soon.
All right, you ready?
It's on Patreon first.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ruthie.
Happy
birthday to you.
Yes. I just happen to have these little papers cut up on the desk because I'm working on a school project with the kids. Surprise! And I think it's so cute when sons love their mothers.
Yeah, it was a soft spot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Soft spot in the heart. You know, he's like, I'm 17, man. Please say happy birthday to my mom. She'd really mean a lot to her. So Ruth, I don't know what's going on in your life, sister, but that's going right. You raised a boy that loves you very, very dearly.
Yep. So we dedicate this song.
This goes out to Ruth and the big homie Damien. Shout out to Damien. Love you for taking care of your mom, bro. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right. Flight of Icarus, Iron Maiden. Let's go.
Go.
His eyes are ablaze.
Keeping track of those, you bitch.
I was hoping for more limits. Did you ever read that story?
Yeah, well, no, actually, you told me about it.
The first.
What? Are
the
you
first
sure
thing,
we didn't review this already?
I
You did one with this story.
Sadoced, and I
wonder which
looked.
band it was.
I looked to check, and it wasn't them. So
Yeah.
I went to check. That's what I did right at the beginning. I'm like, man, I hope we didn't do this already,
Yeah.
but we did.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yep.
So I'm very, very happy.
It's such an interesting and tragic story.
It was the first thing that the first piece that you've ever seen me write was included that one.
Oh, really?
That was the first thing I'd ever sent you, and you were all emotional. Oh my gosh, Vin.
You've always been such an amazing writer, though.
Vin. Yeah, my what was it? My second grade teacher, I think, was like, "You need to write and write and write. You need to keep writing."
Yeah.
So that story was always really, really interesting to me because the Icarus and his dad, they were stuck in this labyrinth. Mm-hmm. And his dad figured a way to get out, but he couldn't deal with it was very. First time I read it was in Southwest Junior High School in the 7th grade in Florida, and I just remember. I remember exactly where I was. There was this guy named Kevin right in front of me, and Kevin was the first time I ever ran into like a certified pothead. Like, this guy was high literally every single time that I saw him. We were
visibly high.
Obviously invisibly high, and his breath was horrible, and he always used to do these little thingies, drum thingies with his thumbs. And I always remembered that.
Was he good?
I mean, yeah, he was good. I mean, now looking back at it, he was probably in some band or something, but he was the first time I legitimately ran into like a legitimate like stoner weed head. Like, I'd never seen anything like it before or since.
Did
really.
he graduate?
He was a drug dealer, so I don't know. He'd always ask me, "Hey man, hey Vin, you want any?" I'm like, "No, I don't want any of that stuff." Like, my house was a big like just say no, type of environment. So, no. But anyway,
Me too. I had the shirt.
the story.
Keep kids off drugs.
Yeah, drug abuse resistance education, bitches. Did you know that that's what DARE stood for?
I used to know, but I didn't remember.
So, the story was very fascinating to me because it actually, in my mind, balanced two very important concepts about life. And one is the feeling of being trapped and wanting to get out. Mm-hmm. And it validated that that's a valid feeling to have, because they were trapped in this labyrinth.
Yeah.
But then the other principle that it validated was you have got to kind of constrain yourself in your freedom, otherwise you're gonna destroy everything. And so I grew up around a lot of chaos, and so on the one hand, I thought our family, my mom, did a very good job of handling the first part. Like, if we were in a situation that was bad, like, we always knew Mom was gonna get us out. Like, period. Like, she was gonna get us out. Whether we're in a homeless shelter or whatever it was, she was gonna get us out. But on the other hand, there was no real, like, limit to what could happen. That's the other side of it.
Yeah.
Was like, we were never gonna be trapped, but there were a lot of times when we just crashed and burned because with that type of lifestyle, it's just a matter of time before, you know, stuff gets reckless and people get hurt. So, of course, I was in the midst of that, and I hadn't even experienced the pinnacle of the chaos, because the chaos was really going to pop off the next year, where in the 8th grade we did 5 different schools in 4 different states and 3 different boroughs.
Yikes.
It was pretty crazy. It was just a whirlwind of craziness, you know, that
Was it scary?
No. I don't remember being scared.
Every time I started a new school, I was so scared.
Yeah, but we did that so many times. We moved around so many times and were in so many new schools so many times that was like a non-issue for us. Like, you know, you get over it after a while. We weren't scared. It's just we didn't know enough to be scared. Like, if I knew enough to be scared, maybe, but I didn't know. You literally had no idea what was going to happen next. You didn't know where we were going to be. It's like, oh, we're at Auntie Nat's house. Oh, we're in a homeless shelter because they had a fight. Oh, we're leaving. You know, we're out of Parsippany, New Jersey, which is basically as suburban as suburban can be, and we were in Brooklawn High School or middle school, whatever it was, like Brooklawn. I mean, it was just as suburban as suburban could be. And then 6 months later, you're in the Bronx.
Oh my gosh, I just can't.
Like, you're in the gutter, you know. We just didn't. So it was just. But, you know, it's like we were in the homeless shelter. Nobody liked it, obviously. It wasn't really traumatic, to be honest, but nobody liked it. But it was like, Mom's gonna get us out, you know. And of course, Junior, my older brother, was worked, never had a childhood.
Right.
I always thought about like, oh, I never had a childhood. I listened to Korn. I never had a childhood. But Junior legitimately never had a childhood because he was always taking care of me, making sure that I wasn't getting it. You know, my little brother was never really in trouble. You know, he stayed pretty much close to my mom.
Yeah.
But when I was, you know, Junior was always worried about me, trying to protect me, make sure I was good. But yeah, it was a pretty terrible situation. But, you know, so I think like that story creates, like, you know, and Jordan Peterson talks about this when he does, you know, the Bible reviews and stuff about like why certain stories endure and other ones just disappear into the ether. You know, like the African proverb about the scorpion and the frog, you know, like that one continues. And I think the Icarus story still continues because it brings together so many concepts. You know, the youthful zeal for expansion and freedom and you know, that type of thing with the old and the aged kind of understanding of how life works and how the universe is orchestrated and all that. And so, like, it brings everything together to say, look, if you're in a bad situation, it's very, very important to get out of said bad situation. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. At the same time, when you get your freedom,
don't put yourself in a worse situation.
Seduct, you've got to find a way to self-regulate. Because if you can't self-regulate, you're going to end up destroying everything and you're going to lose all of your freedom.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, consider freedom to be doing whatever you want. You know what I mean? And that's not how I define freedom. Obviously, I define freedom as doing what you were created to do. And this, you know, Icarus's dad was a scientist. And so insofar as he was a scientist, that middle ground between the sun and the earth is where he belonged. And unfortunately, you know, the sun couldn't, you know, his definition of freedom was to go as high and as far as he wanted. And then he lost all of it. He was more free in the labyrinth than he was, you know, when he was plummeting to the earth. Because then you end up in Hades. You're in the underworld now. Have a good day. So I just, you know, it was at the time I didn't understand why it was so fascinating to me. But, you know, now looking back at our lives and then looking back at the life that I have and that currently lead and things and just watching people, you know, you can take it with anything. You can take it with drugs. It's like, you know, somebody asked me a couple days ago, what do you think about medical marijuana? I'm like, well, you know, obviously, you know, great, could be a blessing. And then, like, if you stay kind of above the ground and below the sun, you're good. But then there's other people that are like, nah, fam, I gotta have the craziest, and then they go off into heroin and all the rest of it. And it's like, yeah, man, you're flying high for 4 seconds, and then you come crashing down, and you bring everybody else down with you. And that to me is it's an important lesson that people need to learn. You know, because people really believe that you're trying to restrict them. Especially as a Christian, people think that, these rules are here to restrict freedom. And in reality, it seems to me that that God is aiming to kind of keep us in that middle, because he knows how he's constructed the universe. So he's like, don't sleep around with every 5th person that you see, but enjoy your wife's breasts. That's what it says in the Bible. And the woman is supposed to enjoy the man's body. It says, hey, husband, your body doesn't belong to you, it belongs to your wife. So that's in the Bible too. So it's like, okay, sexual ethics, like don't be restricted, don't be a prude. Don't do that, because you can't live that way. And the Bible actually says, like, most people can't live that way. So don't do that. But at the same time, don't go around, spreading your whatever to everybody. So you could apply it to so many different things. And obviously, as a parent who's got a teenager who's about to start driving, it's in a couple of years, you're always like, nah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough because you understand that, like, you see the things that your kids do, and you're like, wow, they didn't think that through. Oh my gosh, they didn't think that through. And they're, just dealing with, let's say I tell one of them, hey, bring that stack of plates downstairs. Well, don't balance on 2 arms, cup and plate on top, and then another bowl. It's just, stack everything that's alike together, and that's but they don't think those things through, and they just start going. And so you're like, what are they going to do when they're driving? You know what I mean? Like, you think about, are they going to think about all the angles of, what could happen and how to be safe and follow the rules? Or are they going to think some rule is unnecessary and they're just going to, and so here's this kid that, he's finally out of the labyrinth, and his father had cautioned him, but sometimes, and we were the same way. Like, there was cautions that my parents gave me that I wasn't about to listen. I wanted to try it out for myself, and I had to feel what that felt like to fall in that situation.
It's weird, like, I really listened to my mom when she had warnings for stuff.
Well, I think that...
I never thought that my mom was bullshitting. The problem is that in our life, everything had such a consequence to it. There wasn't like regular, stable life to where you could feel like, oh, I'm safe. We always felt like we were in danger. So if my mom said something, I'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, except for when it came to girls. Then I use it the opposite way. If my mom didn't like a girl, I'm like, that's the one. She'd be like, it's not a girl, that's a woman, Vincent. That's a woman. That's not a girl. We're like 14, 15 years old.
Oh my god.
She used the same line on my brother. That's not a girl, Junior. That's a woman.
Did it have that effect on him too? Where he was like, oh, okay.
Junior was just very compliant and whatever.
No.
And he didn't really want to, whatever. And I was kind of like, oh yeah? Like, and it's like, now I think about it, see, this is one of the reasons why, it would have been helpful to have a dad around. Because my mom thought that was a deterrent.
Right.
That's not a deterrent, Ma. If I'm 14 years old, I'm feeling like I'm a man now. So if you say it's not a girl, it's a woman, like, that actually motivates me to pursue that young lady. Actually, the other side would have been demotivating. If my mom would have been like, man, that girl's trying to act like she's a woman, but she's just really a girl. Look how she's dressed. Ha! If she would have done that, I'd have been like, oh shit, I don't like that girl.
Oh my gosh.
But if my mom was like, that's not that girl, that's a woman. And I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa, stuff can get dangerous. This is good.
Oh my gosh.
What do you mean? You're 14 years old.
I see what you're saying.
14 years old, your hormones are raging or whatever, and then you see this, your girl in her, jeans or whatever, doing her thing. I was like, yeah. See, that would have been an area where my mom, like, it would have been helpful if I had, a dude around, because a dude wouldn't have said that to me, because he would have known, like, how we think. You get more points if it's the girl's older than you when you're, a teenager. if you're 14 years old and you could score a 17, 18-year-old girl, man, you are legendary.
Yeah,
Believe you me.
Say so.
Believe you me.
I would have never done such a thing.
Oh, you didn't meet me back in the day.
I wouldn't have.
You would have.
No, I wouldn't have.
You would have.
No, you're a kid. And
I am
1,000%
certain. I wouldn't have told you that I was a kid.
It wasn't obvious that you were 14.
You would have been, well, what happens is when you start talking to me, it's just different. You get lost in the conversation after a while. It's been 3 hours. You don't even know that you've been talking to the homie for 3 hours. And you're like, you're 14? Nuh-uh. It took me about a week and a half with you, if with that age.
Ew, no, that's disgusting.
That's not disgusting.
She's over 16, and she's going with a 14. No, that's gross.
Happened a lot of times.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not a gross. No, that's gross.
It's not about being
That's gross. That's
it's
gross.
Not gross. Anyway.
That's gross.
Anyway, the point is, my mom struck out horribly in that situation.
No, I don't think it's gross for you. I think it's gross for her.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't gross for her either. Wasn't gross for her. The point is that this has nothing.
Dorian's 13 years old.
Yeah, Dorian is 13 though. When I was 13, I was like 18, 19, 20. I mean, isn't that true?
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you met me 10 years ago. Did I match that age? No, I was way beyond that.
Well, that's
stuff.
why the newspaper said you were in your 40s.
Yeah. It's true. I was like 27.
Perched upon your...
Yeah, perched upon my thingamajiggy. Yeah, I was in my 20s when they wrote that shit. But it's the je ne sais quoi. But anyway, Flight of Icarus. It's a good song. It's a good perspective. I just wish they would have had more lyrics. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I like the chorus, and they just basically said we're gonna ride the hell out of this chorus.
I liked the sound of it though. It was like a 9.6 for me.
It's Iron Maiden. I mean,
yeah.
Come on. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a 8.999999 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I needed more lyrics, but happy birthday and good on the big homie. Make sure you take care of your mom. I'm gonna be checking up on you in a month and 2 and 3 and 4. You better be taking care of your mom, big homie. But you're doing a damn good job now. And mom, happy birthday. Congratulations on such an awesome and amazing son. And thank you for wearing my shirt. Because everybody gets her shirt. Nobody gets my shirt.
She also wore mine.
We don't need to know about that. Thank you for wearing my shirt. Winter's coming up. I'll get you a hoodie. You should get yourself one too, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.